Good evening and welcome to the world's hottest half mile, nestled right here in the heart of Appalachia. I'm, of course, talking about Bristol Motor Speedway. That's tonight's venue, and we've saved you a seat at the Last Great Coliseum. Thank you for riding along with us. Of course, I'm Adam LaVox here with Faster Horses Media, and we're ready to hit the track here with the 280 Truck Series. As drivers get set to go qualifying, we're going to take a look at our standings so far. Last week, a bit of a surprise winner, with Justin Bissett sneaking through at the last second to claim victory at Talladega. But that doesn't change the top of the board because, of course, right behind him was Kyle Nadeau, who's hanging on to that 276-point lead over his teammate, Crank Bell. Zach Miller, our league host, is behind him in third with just 53 points back, and Jeff Dotson hot on his heels, 54 points back. We'll have to keep an eye on that battle tonight. Sean Sullivan up one spot. Dan Jensen up 3 spots after last week. Greg Burchett holds his position there in 7th spot. Brandon Torres, Doug Arterbright were absent last week and fall a couple spots through the standings. Nick Rozike in 3 last week. A good recovery for that number 22. Caleb Hayes dropped a couple spots, absent last week as well. And Randall Peasley, with a good showing at Talladega, brought it home 6th place last week after a strong recovery drive with damage. But can that number's 97 up top? He is your points leader by a significant margin, but can he break through to victory lane? It's been a challenging year so far. Not so much in the finishing results, but breaking through to that top spot in the standings at the end of the race. Still winless throughout the season so far. Can tonight be his night? Crank Bell's teammate going to be back here, the Tennessee native, hoping to light it up here at Bristol. Greg Burchett as well, hanging in there. Will he be able to continue his climb up the points? And plenty of action here to keep an eye on. We'll, of course, be bringing you the action throughout the night. Should be no shortage of it here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We've got 22 drivers here tonight, set to take the start here at the Coliseum. So, without further ado, let's see if we can get you pulled up some qualifying standings. Just bear with me for a second. I'm going to go ahead and check our audio settings as well really quickly. All right, drivers starting to leave the pits. Heading out for qualifying. All right, as the drivers cycle around, we should start seeing some times posted up on the board. Good first lap out for the 442 of Bissett. Definitely looking strong after his win last weekend. So our 2 weekends ago. Had Thanksgiving break last week. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday for those of you in the States. Back and forth trading at the top. Nadeau takes it for now. Bissett right on his heels in second spot. Drivers getting 2 laps each. That'll be the final effort for those two drivers. Randall Peasley gaining big there, up to P6, jumping about 4 spots. Crank Bell, Tennessee native, and that number 14. Keep an eye on him tonight. Home track for him. Definitely expecting big things out of the number 14, and probably looking to get rolling after missing last week's race. Glad to see him back out on track. Alan Blue had a rough couple of weeks. We'll see if he's got something to show tonight. Looking mighty good in that metallic number 23 machine. Our league organizer, Zach Miller, out in that number 38. Sitting 9th place right now. See Aaron back with us this week, and that number 31, he's going to put it. E2 going to be outside front row. All right, as they grid up to begin the race, let's take a look at our starting order. Of course, Kyle Nadeau starting off P1 in that number 97, with Aaron Mack taking the outside front row in the 31. Blake Kelly looking to show up strong here in the number 7. Ryan Bailey in the number 10 is going to be to his outside. Ed Sal's in the 51, been a strong contender ever since he joined up a few races ago, and we expect nothing short of that tonight as well. He's going to roll off P5 with Zach Laugen, the number 24 United States Coast Guard machine, to his outside. Eric Camp, his teammate, is going to roll off 9th. Just to the outside of Justin Bissett, last week's winner, he's going to roll off P8. Devin Main's the number 5 and start off in 10th. Always aggressive in that number 5, expecting nothing less tonight. Zach Miller rolling off 11th, and Brendan Odell in the 82 is going to be to his outside. Jake Doffing, the 88, P13. Crank Bell is going to start 14th. Alan Blue, 15th. Spencer Smith in the 56 is going to roll off 16th, and Randall Peasley in the 63 going to roll off 17th. Mike Morkrid is going to be in 18th. Barry Knapp's going to roll off 19th. Jeff Dotson, 20th. Josh Emerson, 21st. Greg Birch at 22nd. Jamie Capehart, 23rd. Sean Sullivan in the number 2 is going to roll off in 24th. That's your starting lineup here at Bristol. We're getting ready to take the green flag here in Thunder Valley at Bristol Motor Speedway. That number 97 is going to lead them to the start, with the 31 to his outside. New paint scheme on that number 7 on the inside. Looks like we got Bush's sponsorship this week. Getting ready to go. Still waiting on that pace truck to pull off. A little bit of a slow pace lap here at Bristol. We are fired up and ready to get this thing rolling. The El Camino paint scheme coming back out for Nadeau. Will it bring him luck tonight? Will he break through to victory lane? Here we go. Rolling off at Bristol. Green flag in the air. Nadeau is going to lead him to the start. Bit of a big holdup on the outside. 31. Slow on the start. The 7. Blake Kelly down to the inside of Nadeau. He's going to try to make it stick on fresh tires. Caution's going to come out. We've got Reckon in the back. Let's take a look here at what happened just a few places behind. Teammates so far, we see... Oh, just gets loose. 24 gets loose, goes around. 88 almost collects him on the inside, but narrowly avoids it. Great drive in there by Jake Dolphin. One lap down at Bristol. Sign of things to come. We'll see. But the carnage has already begun at the Coliseum. Luckily, no major damage for anyone just yet. Do wonder if we'll have some strategy adjustment on that 31 on the next restart. Got a slow start on that outside from the initial drop of the green flag. We'll see if we can improve that the next time. He's going to start inside row next time, so maybe able to get a little better jump there. While we're under caution, we're going to go ahead and throw some recognition at our, league sponsor of 614 Designs. That is designs done by Zach Miller, of course. You see down there at the bottom right. You can find him on tradingpaints.com under Zach D. Miller, or on Instagram if you want to check out some of his designs at 6.1.4_designs. And once again, that's on Instagram, so hit up 614 Designs for any of your iRacing paint scheme needs. Bump draft in the pace truck. That's what you like to see here at Bristol. Not going to be the last time the bumper's used tonight, I'm sure. Lots of hungry drivers, 150 laps to sort it out. Those will go by in a hurry here at Bristol Motor Speedway with under 15 seconds per lap. It'll go by in the blink of an eye. These drivers got to be laser focused the entire time. No time to slack off down the straightaways because you're in the next corner before you know it. And you've got 22 hungry cars waiting to move you out of the way and claim their shot at the win tonight. Race number 8 in the championship so far. Let's see who's going to be the gainers and the losers tonight as the green flag is out again. Nadeau with another great jump. We see the 7 switching lanes, but the 51's the big winner here on the start. He's going to sling it to the outside. He might get 2 spots in the first lap as we see the 7 have to check up just a little bit. 51 to the outside, still side by side for a second. Caution flag flies again for the second time here on lap 9. Trouble toward the rear of the field. We'll go ahead and check our replay and see what happens there as the pace car stylishly goes drifting by. Going to keep an eye on that 5 truck there. Looks like we had some trouble in the corner. We see big lift from the 10. Just collected. We see Alan Blue in the 23 just get in too hot. Probably didn't see the slow car in front of the 5 and just, unfortunately, the 5 of Devin Maines gets run over here on lap 9. But no significant damage. Go ahead and check the front end of that 23. Alan Blue, the one who made contact there. We'll see if we can find out whether he's got front damage. Not a big concern for aerodynamics, but cooling's at a premium here at Bristol because you don't have quite as much airflow as you would at the high-speed tracks. So definitely going to want to keep an eye on how that's looking. Not looking too bad. Maybe a little bit of a crinkle on the right front, but not too much at all. I wouldn't worry about that a bit. But it's still this guy out front, Kyle Nadeau, still looking for that first win of the season. Looking good so far to be able to make that happen tonight. But that 51, we saw that charge on the last restart. Gained 2 spots for a moment, but the 7 of Kelly was able to get back around, and Blake Kelly having a great night as well so far. 31 still has to figure out some restart strategy. Aaron Mack struggling just a little bit, losing spots on 2 consecutive restarts now. In that attractive looking purple Citizen Soldier number 31. There's a bit of a specter to his inside there. Dan Jensen in that 29 tends to just hang out and show up at the finish. He's hanging out P5 right now. Let's see if he can improve throughout the night here on lap 12 of 150. I said they'd go fast. They're trying to prove me wrong by inserting as many pace laps as possible. Eric Camp in that 9 surviving the carnage so far. Same with Zach Miller in the 38, keeping it clean. There's last week's winner right there. Justin Bassett up to P8. Big movers so far. Josh Emerson in that 73. He's had speed in every single race he's been in so far. Just hasn't always had the results to show for it, but he's up 7 spots so far, up to P14 from the start. Here we go. They're lined up. Pace car is off. We're ready to fire them off. It's going to be the 97 leading them to green again. Great start on the outside for Nadeau. Battle's going to be first, second. Aaron Mack gets a good jump this time from 4th, challenging for 2nd. The 7, Blake Kelly still to the inside. Holding his ground side by side to 31 and the 7. Still side by side off the corner. Neck and neck. All over the back of Nadeau is Aaron Mack. Nowhere to go. Kind of boxed in at the moment. He's going to look low off of 4. Not quite going to get alongside this time. Through 1 and 2. He's going to challenge this time. He's going to get a nose to the inside of the 97 through 3 and 4. He's going to make this move. He's got to do it fast because tires come and go very quickly at Bristol. That short line only lasts a few laps. To the inside, will he be able to slide up in front? He thinks better of it. Might have been able to, but spotter didn't call him clear. Nadeau drops his line a little bit. He comes down to the middle. Lap traffic coming into the play as we see the 46 to the inside. Big checkup out of the 31 to keep off of the 46. Back and challenging to the inside again as we see caution number 3 come out here on lap 20. It's like Zach Laugen and that number 24 involved this time. Take a look back at our instant replay. Off of 4 by himself. No trouble so far, just gets loose and around he goes through 3 and 4. No damage, slides down to the apron and out of the way. He's going to get it spun back around and going once again. Few cautions so far, no real damage done, however. All drivers still in competition, still with clean trucks, which we like to see. Don't want to see any early dropouts, especially before we even hit lap 21. Guess who's coming up through the field? It's the teammate of your leader, the number 14, Frank Bell, up to P7 after starting P14. Up 7 spots through this cycle of restarts so far. We saw Dan Jensen lose a couple spots from 5th to 9th on that restart. Had a little bit of trouble. Again, we see Justin Bissett just in front of him, too, making up a couple more spots. He's going to sit P6 right now for this restart. Green flag back out. Nadeau's leading him to the start. Great launch once again. As the lights come on, we see the shadows start to fall on the track surface. Ed Sal's all over the back bumper of the 97. He's looking for that top spot. Looking to the inside, not going to have the momentum yet. He's 1 car length behind now, going into 3. Sorry, going into 2. Now into 3. The 51 drawing back to a half a car length behind the 97. Doesn't quite have the momentum. 97 getting a great drive off that high side. He sees Peasley on the top, so he's going to adjust his line. That's going to slow the 51 up even more. Great entry there for Ed Sal's. Closes back to a half car length behind Nadeau. Nadeau adjusts his line down to half a lane. Trying to cut off the exit of the 51 and block that momentum. Big slide out of the 51 now. He's going to go around right in front of the 31. A little bit of contact, but he's going to go around and plant it in the back. Oh. That was Crank Bell coming in on the inside. He was going to try to sneak through, but the 51 backed into the wall. He was left with nowhere to go. Going to be heavy damage for both of those trucks. Heavy damage to the right rear of the 51. Let's take a look at that 14. Front end absolutely gone on that machine. He's going to try to limp it back around, but I don't believe that truck has steering. Might require a tow to be able to successfully get back to pit lane. Like he's going to try to use the banking to make the truck turn, but he's still got a long way around to get to pit entry. Bristol, a bit of a unique track because it has a split pit lane. You're looking at the second part of pit lane right now. As he comes around here, he's going to try to get it turned down to pit lane. We'll see if it's able to get down there. Sure if he has enough. Gonna have to kick it in reverse and maybe try to get the front end spun around. That's where he needs to enter right there. He's gonna give up and just take the tow back to the pits. Nadeau's still our leader. After that spin by the 51, Aaron Mack's gonna assume that second spot, and look at who showed up in third. 442, Justin Bissett makes up 3 more spots on that restart. He's gonna start P3 on the inside once we go back racing again. Taking a look back at the man we mentioned earlier, Josh Emerson, that 73, up several more spots. He's up 13 spots from the start now. Barry Knapp in the 42 behind him, up 10. 2 big movers charging their way through the field. Great driving tonight so far by the 73 and 42. We'll look back here, that 5 Devin Maines we saw spin a couple cautions ago. He's back up, knocking on the door of the top 10. He sits 11th right now. Spencer Smith up a few spots in the day as well. He's up 6 from the start. Good driving out of that Mountain Dew Code Red machine. Cracking in the top 10. But we're getting ready to go green again. Lights are off on the pace truck. Let's see how long we can get this thing to go. Nadeau's going to lead him into the green on the outside. A little bit of a tire spin for the 31 on the inside. Nadeau's easily going to clear before they reach turn 1. The battle for third now. Make that fourth as we see Bassett under fire, losing some ground. He has a mirror full of Dan Jensen and Eric Camp. He's looking to set sail. He's hooking that outside lane really well and getting huge runs coming off the corner. Great driving there. Got a bit of a flick there on the entry. Plants that right rear in the track and just takes off. We'll see how that does for his tires on the long run, but for now, it's definitely working out for him. Back up front, under attack is Nadeau. Aaron Mack has caught him in the 31, and he's looking for a way by. Little bit of a checkup there, a bit of a wide entry there for the 97, and possibly he's letting the 31 have it. As we see another caution, that's going to be number 5 coming on lap number 41. It's like we had several cars involved. Replay queued up to show you just what happened in this one. Looks like it started back here with the number 10 machine, Ryan Bailey, perhaps. Just gets in the corner too hot. Maybe a little too back. Overcorrects, trying to save the truck, and unfortunately goes right back up the track and into traffic. Taking out a couple cars and inflicting heavy damage on the rear end of that number 10. Rewind just a little bit to see who made contact. Was implicated in this wreck. We see, it was the number 3. That's going to be Jeff Dotson. Number 3 gets a heavy piece of the number 10 as well as the 46 of Mike Morkrid. We're going to bring those trucks in for service. Brian debating whether or not to bring it in now and take the losses or try to salvage a lap. Get back to our live feed. It's going to be the 31 of Aaron Mack out front for the first time tonight. Kyle Nadeau surrendering that top spot just before the caution came out. Blake Kelly still hanging out in third place in the Bush's Beans machine. Local sponsor for tonight's race. The hotbed of action tonight's been for the lead, of course, but back here, all the big gainers on the night. Of course, talking about Josh Emerson, Barry Knapp, Spencer Smith. All up several spots, all fighting and clawing their way to try to be in that top 10. Like Devin Maines was successful in getting to the top 10, getting that one spot over the 56 of Smith. Scene hasn't changed much back here, other than a couple spins. Zach Miller still hanging out in 8th spot for now. We're bunching them up, getting ready to go green again. The pace truck is off. It's going to be the 31 of Mack leading them to the green this time. Good launch on the inside, surprisingly taking the inside after such a strong showing on the outside for the 97 so far. Speaking of which, 97 under fire from the 7 of Blake Kelly. He's going to be alongside. He clears the 97. He's going for the lead once again on the inside. Momentum favoring the outside for now, hoping for the cool tires to get him a spot before he has to move back up the track to the higher lane. 97 is going to push him down to the bottom, keep him from being able to open up the exit and gain momentum. Great driving so far from Nadeau, doing what he has to keep the 7 at bay and keep that second spot. He's going to clear the 7 and claim that second spot back. It's eyes forward now, going after the 31 of Mack. Let's head back in the Hornets' nest on board with Brendan Odell in that 82. As we see the 51 right behind him, Ed Salz is going to go around. Gets it collected, no caution. Field spreading out just a little bit. This is your tightest group right here, separated by about 1/10.5 each. Zach Miller looking to make some ground on Eric Camp in the 9. Loses a little bit off the corner there. Devin Main's looking to capitalize. Caution is out. Not entirely sure what for this time. On top of the board is going to be Kyle Nadeau. Aaron Mack's going to come in for fuel and tires this time. Going to take advantage of this caution. Zach Laugen back there, and the number 24 is going to pit as well. On and off pit road, he's going to start tail end of the lead lap cars. And that lead's going to go back to the 97. Kyle Nadeau once again, followed by Blake Kelly. Blake's going to have a interesting time trying to capitalize on this restart as the tires continue to wear more and more. We've seen a couple slightly longer runs at this point. This tire's definitely starting to wear in, which might be why we saw 31 come to pit lane. That inside line charge not quite as effective as it was on fresh tires. Bristol definitely turning into a single lane racetrack. Once the tires get worn in and once the rubber gets put on the top side of the track, it's really hard to make a run down low. He'll try something a little different this time. Since he likes going on the inside lane, we're going to see Nadeau on the outside. Let's take a ride along in the cockpit of that number 7 as we restart. See just what these drivers are dealing with as we take the green again. Down into second gear he goes. So you expect to see the pace truck peel off the track. '97 fires off. Kelly tries on the inside, not able to get quite as good of a launch, but he's going to try to get up there. He's clear of camp for second, though. No challenge out back, just him and the 97 up front. Nice diamond line to that corner, entering mid, drifting up to that front fence and bringing it down to straighten off the exit of the corner, trying to gain on that 97 of Nadeau. Not going to happen, and caution comes out again. Not exactly sure who the instigator of this crash was, but we're going to go ahead and take a look and see if we can figure it out here. On lap number 60. See the 42 wash up the track right in front of Burchett. No contact yet. Oh, we see the 31 on fresh tires. Fresh tires, maybe a little bit too cold. He goes around, gets contact with the 42. And the 031 of Burchett as well. Zach Logan in the 24 piles in, just nowhere to go when he got that much speed on entry to the corner. Ryan Bailey with the stylish slide into the camera shot. Shouldn't be any damage there as he waits for the 42 to clear out of the scene. Let's go ahead and take a look at that number 31. See what he's dealing with for damage. Other than the rear end, it really doesn't look too bad. Should still be competitive. Just a little bit of left rear damage. But of course, not the setback, or not the bit of a setback, not what you want to see. First restart with fresh tires. Of course, those tires not going to be quite as fresh as they were just moments ago after a slide that large. It's going to come down and address some of that damage now. Spencer Smith inside the top 10. We're just looking back there at P8. In a couple spots every time. Keeping it nice and clean. Not a scratch on that Mountain Dew Code Red Toyota Tundra yet. Sorry, that was the 82 of Brendan Odell who was involved in that wreck earlier. Getting a couple purple cars in here and getting them a little mixed up. Greg Burchett is actually retired from the race, so at this point, anytime you see a purple car, that's going to be that 82 of Odell. For some reason isn't displaying numbers this week, but still easily identifiable. 51 of Sal's looking to make a comeback here. He's going to be firing off, I believe, 10th spot this restart, so recovering from a full spin and a half spin just not too long ago during the last run. So just on the start of that run, it was a near caution. He got sideways and down toward the pit wall. He's back up to P10 already, just to show you what kind of pace that truck still has. And on blue, hanging out in 12th spot right now. solid day so far. That 23 is looking pretty clean as well. Back up front, it's that familiar blue Chevrolet of Kyle Nadeau still. He's going to elect to take that outside lane, which is going to be favorable on old tires. But hey, look right behind him. You got that number 5 with fresher tires. Inside the top 3, that's going to be Devin Maines in the 5. He's got fresh tires after a spin earlier. We'll see what he can do with them here on this restart. Ready to fire off, entering the restart zone. Immediately firing off is Kyle Nadeau. Battle's going to be for second. The 5 and the 7 going to go at it. 5 with the advantage on tires and the more advantageous line, but the 7's going to slide up in front and claim the spot. Excellent pace on the restarts out of Blake Kelly. Fires off like a missile, wasting no time getting in a rhythm and going on the attack. He doesn't have to gauge how much grip he has. He's just all gas all the time. Caution out again. Unsure who it's for this time, as we don't see anyone really dropping any positions. Oh, the feint to pit road by Nadeau. Almost got a couple drivers there. The 5's going to go ahead and take some service, as about half the field's going to follow. Five Machine of Maines down pit lane for service. 63 Randall Peasley going to get a waiver out. One of his laps back. Lap 76, just past the halfway point here at Bristol. Been an exciting race so far, but it's still the 97 of Nadeau hanging on strong in that first spot. He and Blake Kelly have been going at it all day, and we see Ed Salz, who started up front with your two leaders, finds himself in that top 3 battle once again. Jake Doffing, been midfield most of the day. He's going to make an appearance up front here in the 88 machine. Looks tidy as well. No visible damage on his Ford. Expect to go green next time by, as sure enough we see the lights go off on the pace truck. We're going to get lined up side by side yet again. Big mix of tire strategies going on right now. Many different tire wear statuses throughout the field. Your leaders still on their original set of tires. They have not pit yet in this race. Everyone else has pitted lap 55 or later. He's going to light them off and charge out to a 3-car length lead over Blake Kelly on the restart here. Lap 79. Caution out again. Big wreck in the rear. Let's go back and have a look at what happened. So we see a spin from Odell just in front of Aaron Mack. He's going to squeak through, but there's also carnage in front. Let's go ahead and rewind and see what happens just in front of this group. Had multiple things going on at the same time. Let's go ahead and look at the 29 of Jensen. We see him sideways at the same time as the 82 behind. So we got two trucks spinning at the same time. Looks like the one with Jensen's going to cause a bit of a pileup. The 2 is going to get into the back of the 3 and pin the 5 up against the wall. Look at that. The 73 sneaking his way through there. Great bit of heads-up driving for Josh Emerson in that 73 as a massive pileup ensues behind. Spencer Smith involved. Zach Miller involved. Zach Laugen involved. As well as the 42 of Barry Knapp back there. Randall Peasley just parks it in the middle of the track and waits for the blockade to disband just in front of him. But, bit of a change in the guard up front. Jake Dolphing's going to assume the lead. As your 2 leaders on those old tires, they're going to hit pit road and get themselves some fresh Goodyears. So Jake Dolphing, Justin Bissett, Jeff Dotson, Alan Blue going to be your top 4 for this restart. Cars in front of your leader are waiting to take the wave around and get their lap back. That's why you see them out front at the moment. We'll get waved around once we see the 1 to go. I hope everyone has been enjoying the action here from Bristol. Been no shortage of it. Been great racing all throughout the field. Dotted with cautions, but that short track racing, you'll have that. Leaders are going to get side by side, lined up for the restart. Dolphing's going to choose the outside lane for this start. We'll see if he gets a jump. 442 laying back just a little bit. They're going to hit the Geico restart zone. Well, it looks like we're going to delay just 1 lap longer. Should see the pace truck peel off this time through 3 and 4. Now, Jake Dawkins going to look for those blue markers on the wall indicating the Geico restart zone. He fires off early. Clears the 442 of Bassett. It's going to be Bassett and Alan Blue fighting for second place. Blue fighting back on the outside. We see the 73 to the inside, 3 wide down the backstretch. 73 backs out. Thought about going for it again, but he's going to play it safe for now. Alan Blue's going to claim second spot. Bassett settles into third. Yellow flag out again. If we can go back, I'm not sure if this started back by Nadeau. Saw he lost a couple spots momentarily. That might clue us in on what happened. I see the pace truck already out at this point. Let's rewind just a little more and see if we can figure out who had trouble. I think apparent, that's our battle up front. Alright, let's take a look back here and see. This might be closer to where we saw an incident. There it is. Spencer Smith just gets a little bit loose on entry to the corner there, trying to hold it under Miller. Doesn't quite work out for him. Goes around solo. Nobody else affected, but just enough to bring out a caution. Up front, still Jake Doffing in the 88. Green flag back in the air. Doffing leads him by 2 off the restart. Alan Blue gets a good launch as well. He's going to stick in second. Josh Emerson's going to look to the outside for third. Caution's out. Not sure if Emerson was able to get position on Bassett as it came out. We'll see what order they stack up according to the timing. It's like Aaron, might have been Dan Jensen involved there in that wreck. We'll go ahead and look back on the restart, see if we can figure out what happened. A little bit of a stack up there on the inside. We see Odell into the outside wall. The 9 checked up, and it was just carnage from there. 56 involved again. Easily flashing the American Legion sponsorship in front of the camera. Fortunately, Dan Jensen can drop out of the top 10 and lose a few spots. See a little bit of smoke out of that machine as well. Some lengthy repairs probably required for the 29 Coors Banquet machine. So Frank Bell getting a lap back. So 22nd in the standings right now. Quite a few laps down. As we're pacing around, let's go ahead and take a look at our championship implications. As they run, Talladega back up to P4 now. Championship leader Crank Bell, as we just mentioned, a few laps down in 20 seconds, so not an ideal day for him. We'll see if Zach Miller, currently sitting P10, is able to capitalize on the day and gain a few more spots. Jeff Dotson in the 3. He is doing all right today, sitting P8 right now. Sean Sullivan is 5th in points. But having a bit of a rough day back in 23rd, several laps down. To get ready to go green again, Jake Doffing launches on the outside. Bissett and Blue going to settle it for second spot. Side by side advantage, Bissett by half a car length. It's going to go 3 wide. Off the corner, 2 wide now as we go into 3. Josh Emerson trying to make headway on this restart, slinging it around the inside on those fresh tires. Blue goes around behind and carnage ensues. We see Odell involved. We see several of the drivers involved in the back. It is a parking lot in the rear. The 9 of Eric Camp involved, as well as several others. Pop back and see if we can view this in slow-mo. We saw it kicking off right behind as we see Alan Blue go around in just a moment. That's going to leave Brendan Odell with nowhere to go but up to the outside wall. See a bit of contact on that right front. Going to crumple that a bit. He's going to spin in front of Zach Miller, but he's going to get a piece of Ed Sal's on the inside trying to escape. 56. Nowhere to go. Look at this. A whole pile of trucks with nothing but blocked cars. And the 7, oh, 7's been up front all day. Blake Kelly gets into Odell on the inside and gets pile driven by the 9 of Eric Camp after the fact. Definitely some unwanted damage on the 7. Look at that left front tire, not looking too hot. Some damage up there as well. Bad news all around after that wreck. Many lost positions and quite a few damaged trucks out of that one. Not everyone able to get slowed down quite enough. Cycling through a couple cars, getting last bit of pit service and damage repairs. We're going to file back 2 wide for the restart. Side by side, still Jake Doffing out front, leading Justin Bissett. Justin Bissett looking to repeat. Remember last week's surprise winner at Talladega with a late race charge. Just barely eked out the win at the line. And a hungry number 97 of Kyle Nadeau right behind him, looking for his first breakthrough win of the season. Josh Emerson, the biggest gainer of the day, 17 spots up from the start of the race. Sitting P3 right now. He's hungry too, and he's got pace. Doffing going to lead him to the line. He's going to fire off. Inside's a little slow. Nadeau's going to follow him through. Nadeau looking to clear Bissett for second. We'll see if he's able to do it off of 4. Deep into the inside, side by side, a little bit of a slip there. Killed the momentum. We see another car going around. I think that's Alan Blue in the back. Yep, single car goes around, but that's still going to bring out the caution again. Coming across for lap number 107 now, running out of time to make a move. These drivers hoping for enough laps to make a move at this point. Not a whole lot of green flag laps in a row to be able to make anything happen. You really got to make it happen on the restart if you're going to make it. And so far, 97's been really good at that. Green flag out again. Jake Doffing going to lead him to the line. What a start from Ed Salz. He's going to push the 88 down the straight as the 97 challenges to the inside. Nadeau's going to clear for first. Doffing falling through the field to the fresher tires behind. Nadeau and Salz both had tires lap 81. Last pit for Doffing was back on lap 55. He's not done yet. We see Ed Salz go around right in front of Zach Miller. They get it gathered up, but that's still going to bring out a caution. Salz sending it a little bit too hard, just breaking traction on the cold tires. This field gets checked up and let the pace truck squeeze through. Miller with a little bit of right front damage by the look of it. We know bent steering off of that. It was decent contact with the 51, but it didn't look too serious. Down to lap 115 to 150 now. 35 laps to go for the Canadian native. We'll see if he can pull off his first win of the season under the lights here at Bristol. And further extend that points lead. Doe back up front. Doffing's going to have an uphill battle ahead with older tires and starting on the inside lane. It's going to be a struggle if he doesn't launch well. We'll see if we can get a good launch on the outside, or on the inside rather, this time by. Got two really fast trucks in the Doe and Salz on the outside. Bissett still hanging out on the inside as well. He's got slightly fresher tires coming in at lap 62, and everyone behind them has fresher tires than all of them. Nadeau ready to hit Geico restart zone, waiting this time, but he fires off. Decent start by Doffing on the inside. He's not going to get past for second just yet. He's hanging on with Ed Salz on the outside. Barely hanging on the corner. Salz gives him a little bit of a break there. Lets him slide in front. Will that cost Salz, though? Doffing clears Salz by 2. His sights are out front on the 97 now. He's not done yet. Old tires be damned. He's going for the lead. As we see a big wreck behind. Dotson, Bell, several others involved. Taking a look behind. Looks like a bit of a traffic jam on the back stretch. Oh, we see Odell get loose. Just a little too hot coming into the corner. Breaks traction on that right rear. Dotson with nowhere to go. Blue gets pounded in the fence after the contact. The 42 just piles in with nowhere to go. Crank Bell kicks it sideways, trying to avoid contact. Not quite able to do so, though. His night just continues to get worse. See the rest of the field behind them checking up for the accident. Kyle Nadeau retaining the lead for now. Lap 122. We'll restart with just 25 laps to go at Bristol. That'll be gone in the blink of an eye. We're here to make sure you don't miss a thing. Bit surprised at 73 of Emerson, for as hot as he was on the restarts, taking it 3 wide a couple of times. A few restarts ago, seems to be just biding his time back here in 4th spot. Not making any overly daring moves just yet. Maybe hoping these leaders will clear the track in front of him on their own. We saw it almost happen with the 51 as he kicked sideways and spun earlier. 73 still looking absolutely spotless. Kept it out of trouble all day. Running a solid race with no issues so far. We'll see if he's able to pick up a couple more before we hang up the helmets tonight at Bristol. Zach Miller up to P6 as well. Devin Main's back in the top 10 after some trouble earlier on and caught up in a couple other people's wrecks throughout the race. $11 cars on the lead lap right now. Might be 10 after Lee Kelly takes this pit stop. We'll see if he's able to get back out in front of the pace truck and stay on the lead lap or not. Was pretty significant damage on the left front. Entire rear of that number 7 truck, trying to make its way back towards the top 10. Gonna stay on the lead lap for now. We'll see if we can pick off a couple spots before these 24 laps now are up. Double file, get ready for the restart. Nadeau's gonna lead him. Hesitates a bit on the restart. That's going to give Doffing the advantage on the inside. The Doffing sends it. Will he be able to clear the 97? Not quite. 97 actually puts it in the fence, trying to stay to the outside of the 88. Ed Sal spinning to the inside off the door of the 73. That's going to bring out another caution. Doe hanging on again, but I doubt that's going to be the last restart we see. Things heating up and people driving harder than they have all night. Winning at Bristol's definitely a crowning achievement on the season if you can do it, because everybody, you can tell absolutely everybody desperately wants this win. possibly none other more than your leader right now, that number 97, looking to break through. Involved in quite a few wrecks and had to repair quite a bit of damage, but that number 24, Zach Laugen, making an appearance back inside the top 10 again. P7 right now, quite the impressive comeback run for front runner of the Puddle Jumpers squad this week. Eric Camp still down a lap, so it's Zach flying the flag for that team today. See if we can improve that position, maybe turn it into a top 5 before the end of the day. Been steadily making up ground on the restarts. A little bit of damage on that truck, but definitely still fast. See the 31, Aaron Mack right behind him. Making up some spots after early trouble. He's back inside the top 10, sitting P8. Jeff Dodson, I feel, has been involved in about every wreck in some degree, somehow. Getting collected by everyone throughout the race, but he's still surfacing in the top 10 in 9th. So hanging in there, hoping for the end of this race, no doubt, hoping to avoid any further contact. They're getting themselves sorted in the back there. A bit of a traffic jam, but regardless, we're ready up front. Lights should go off on the pace truck this time by. There they go. Driver's going to line up side by side, ready to rack him for one more shot. Leader 97 on Nadeau, probably hoping to get an early lead and set sail, praying that no more cautions come between him and the checkered flag. Probably hoping Dauphin gets clear of the 51 on the restart, because he's going to be stiff competition. Remember, 51's got the same tires as the leader. Great launch there for Nadeau. Slow launch from the inside, the 88. A little bit of tire spin. That's going to bottle the 73 up too. Clear by 3 is Nadeau. Battles for third out back. 51, 73 side by side. Caution is out yet again. Or Dan Jensen, the Eric Camp this time. Bristol looking for past the pace, looking for a way around, though. Got pinned behind the 88 on that last restart. Gonna be starting from the same spot this time. Probably looking to do something different. Maybe jumping to the outside this time to follow the 51 through. Definitely think about his options here. And what he can do against a truck starting in front of him that's on older tires. Despite that, Dauphin's been hanging on great. If we get a longer run, I think that 88's going to drop a few spots in short order, because most of the trucks behind him have 20 laps and more fresher tires. Emerson still the biggest mover of the day, up 17 spots from that starting 21st starting position. Jake Doffing with a great day so far, hanging in there on those old tires, up 11 spots on the day. So excellent drive out of both of those trucks so far. Notice both those trucks absolutely spotless as well, keeping it out of trouble all day long, holding that position and doing what they need to do to bring it home in one piece. Lights go out on the pace truck. Will be going green next time by. Coming back to green at lap 139. That's going to give us just 12 laps remaining in this race. A short shootout to decide who wins. The 97 looking to hold on for victory. 88 of Doffing on older tires, looking to capitalize, but a little bit of a slow restart last time. Let's see if he's able to read the mind games that Kyle Nadeau is trying to put on the field. Pace truck is off. Nadeau's going to lead him to the green flag on the outside. Firing off late in the restart zone, but he's going to gain half a car length advantage over the 73 of Emerson, who got a great restart. Easily clearing Doffing. Doffing turned into the fence by the 38. Massive, massive impact for Jake Doffing, who's doing so great all day long. Incredibly unfortunate to see. I'll take you through and see what happens here. Maybe a little bit of help. I think the 51 might have got him a little bit loose here. And he just gets up into the 38, just enough to turn the truck. And just plants it headfirst into the outside wall. And go ahead and look at that at a different angle as well. Let's go on board with the 51. Go back to that moment. We'll see if we can figure out what happened here. We got help or not. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it might have just gotten in the gas a little too early. Oh, never even makes contact. Maybe a little bit of connection issues there between the 88 and the 38. See about a foot of real estate left between the two trucks. We'll rewind it and look at it just one more time for you. Right there, we can see the separation between the two. Never quite making contact, but still getting spun out. Unfortunate break for the 88 there. One of the few setbacks of virtual racing. You will have that every now and again, unfortunately. Still got to give massive credit to Jake for doing what he did on old tires and hanging on for as long as he did. Unfortunate way to end that. Not of his own doing. It looks like he kept it clear of the 38 as much as he needed to, but the internet had other plans, unfortunately. Now we're going to be setting up for an even shorter sprint to the finish. We should go green probably lap 145. I'll leave us just 6 laps to decide the winner of the Bristol night race for the 280 Truck Series. Doe's in the hot seat, but man, that 73 has had pace on these restarts. And it was rapidly closing in toward the end. But will he be able to make a move work on the inside? Will Zach Miller in that 38 on the outside? First time in the top 4 today. Does he have something for the 97? Freshest tires in this group are on that 38 Chick-fil-A truck. Or will the ballistic missile of Ed Salz in the 51 have something to say about it? We'll see. Pace truck is off. Nadeau fires on the outside. Slow start on the inside. Nadeau clear by 4. It's going to be Emerson second. Miller is going to slot in third. Salz to the inside. 31 of Max going to fill in on the outside, prevent him from coming up to the top lane. Big wiggle from Salz. Can he save it? Yes, he does. Here's the battle for a second. Miller closing in. He's going to look to the outside. The 31. Mack out of nowhere. He's got places to be. He's looking for both these spots. Inside the 73 now. Emerson might lose second. He does to the 31. 31 to second place and setting sail for Nadeau. Nadeau with a huge gap already, though. 1.2 seconds to gain. That's going to be a tough ask. Miller is going to lose it on the inside. Caution's going to fly for Miller. Oh, man. We have got a setup for the finish. We're going to have a green-white checkered finish, folks, and it's going to be interesting. Did you see the pace on the 31 truck? The 31 truck, Aaron Mack, last pitted lap 94. Fresher tires in your leader by just a couple laps. But he fired off like a javelin missile on that restart. Slicing and absolutely dicing his way up to P2. I think he's got a shot to do it if he can make it stick on the inside. Gonna have to keep some heat in those brakes, heat in the tires. You don't want that back end to kick out on entry on the restart, but I think if he can make it stick, he might have a legitimate shot. It's definitely going to be a shootout between these two. Emerson's still got pace, no doubt, but he's on slightly older tires. Last came in lap 74. That's 20 laps older than Mack. Even though we haven't had long green flag runs, they're still using these tires pretty hard on the restart, especially since the 73 started on the inside lane the last few times. Definitely using up a little more tire down there than you would up top, so I'm going to place him at a slight disadvantage, but I've been surprised before, and I doubt tonight will be any exception, because I did not expect the 31 to go from around 10th, where he's been mired for, it seems like, half the race, trying to work his way back up front, suddenly emerges in the top 5, and it absolutely just bulldozes his way to second place. I'm excited to see how this shakes out. But it's this man's race to lose. He's going to decide the final restart. We'll see what he does. What games he plays on the restart. Last couple restarts, he started pretty late in the Geico restart zone. We'll see if he backs it up. And if Aaron Mack's able to anticipate what he's going to do. Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. Cliche but true, especially here at Bristol, where that high line's dominant. The momentum coming off the corner is everything. Nadeau's race to lose. He's got to be about perfect. Being sure not to get in the fence, not to let the truck wash up too much, not to let the pressure get to him. Same can be said for the 31. Starting on the inside is going to be hard to do, especially when you're not the car firing off. He's going to have to read the 97 really well, get a good start, and clear the 73 immediately. If he doesn't get clear of the 73, that gives the 97 time to pull away, and he cannot allow that. He has to get a good restart here. Sorry, they're out of order a little bit. It looks like it's going to be the 5 he needs to clear. Devin Maines back up in the top 3. Look at that. We are stacked up, double file, getting ready to fire off. Green flag's out. Nadeau fires right away. Slow start by the 31 on the inside. Maines taking advantage of that. He's going to go after Nadeau. Half a truck back, half a lane higher. He's going to get a better exit. Closing to half, not quite getting the momentum he needed off the corner. A little bit of a slide for the 5 as we see Sal's go around behind. White flag already out. This is going to decide it. We're racing back to the line. Maines sends it to the inside. Not going to be enough there. It is going to be Kyle Nadeau taking the win in Thunder Valley. Getting it done, hanging on for dear life in the lead for pretty much the entire second half of the race. He's finally going to break through for that first win of the season. And he's going to burn it down here at Bristol. Run down to the rest of your top 5. Of course, Devin Maines in second. The 31, Aaron Mack, making a huge surge at the very end to claim 3rd spot. Zach Miller hanging out up there in the top 10 pretty much all day. He's up to 4th at the end. Up 7 spots from the start. Josh Emerson with a great day. Great recovery drive. He's going to be up 16 spots for the day and be the final car in the top 5. Justin Bissett, after last week's strong drive, he was up there pretty much all day in the top 5 as well. He's going to bring that number 442 U.S. Army Esports machine home in 6th. Zach Laugen hanging in there after a lot of trouble throughout the day. In 7th place, Jeff Dotson as well, involved in several wrecks, but he's going to come home 8th. Brendan Odell 9th. Eric Camp in 10th place. We've got motors blowing all over the place. But it's going to be Kyle Nadeau, the Lemon Lawyers, your points leader, claiming victory here at Bristol, holding out despite the best efforts of the field. The challenge, many challengers came, but none could topple the 97 Chevrolet of Nadeau. He's going to claim victory here at Bristol Motor Speedway in exciting fashion after a late race charge from Devin Maines. Racing back to the line as the field wrecked behind them. He got it done here in spectacular fashion. A great race out of everyone today. We saw quite a few drivers we haven't seen in quite a while. Have had some rough weeks, but we saw great racing, great driving out of everyone. No malicious wrecks to my knowledge, but overall, a lot of action and a lot of excitement to commentate on here. Once again, we'll see if we can get you some interviews with our winners here. Looks like we got them in the green room waiting for us. Let me just double check a couple audio things. We'll get them pulled in here. See how their races went. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull in our 2nd place finisher, Devin Maines, into the chat. We'll see what he has to say about his recovery drive at the very end there. All right, we've got Mr. Aggressive himself, Devin Maines, in the booth. Devin, do you hear us? Give me just a moment. I don't think our audio is quite working. We will double check that real quickly. All right, let's try again. Quite an interesting battle there at the end. We should have you checked in on the audio now, so we get the whole interview. You pretty much came out of nowhere. We saw you and Aaron both kind of mired in traffic for a while there, but both of you, the last like one or two restarts, pretty much sliced and diced your way through the field and ended up with a shot at it at the end. Was there anything else you could have done to get around him, or was it just too short of a time and was the inside lane too slow?
Not enough laps. I did have a little bit of a different strategy than Kyle did. I knew I was gonna have to have fresher tires at the end, so I think I had about 30 lap fresher tires than him. I just knew I had to get through traffic, which is typically my strategy on when it's not a super speedway. But yeah, coming out of 2, I believe on that last lap, I just didn't have a good enough run. I was gonna try to take him on the outside, didn't work. So I ducked to the bottom, hoping to catch him in his mirror. Maybe he made a mistake, but it didn't work. So good win. Swept the top 3. So we'll take it.
Yeah, definitely a solid day. Did you really have to use the bumper too much today, or was it pretty clean? Did you see pretty respectful driving out there?
Respectful, yeah, for the most part. I think there was just a lot of unnecessary mistakes. Not a lot of patience. People pushing it too hard, not saving their tires a whole lot. Because yes, the percentages here will tell you that they're in the 90s and you think you're good, but it's all about tire temp here. So yeah, cautions helped that, but still, I think it was just people pushing too hard.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. We saw a few drivers definitely having issues on the restarts, especially just getting the truck planted into one as soon as they hit that spot where they were starting to try to get it to rotate. We saw a lot of guys just get in a little too hot without the tires being up to temp after cautions and stuff, and it just didn't stick. And that seemed to be the predominant cause of cautions throughout the day, other than a couple contacts here and there. That last caution was just incidental net code. He had plenty of space, but didn't quite clear, unfortunately, and ended up in a wreck. But overall, great day for you and great day for the team. Was definitely a treat to watch you charge through the end there. Some trouble early, but you made a great recovery drive despite all the restarts. Was there anything you had to adjust in your strategy since it ended up being just really short stints of 2 or 3 laps, opposed to what you might have been expecting?
No, really any big adjustments. Again, my strategy was just to try to get on a different cycle than Kyle, and that I think if we had a little bit of a longer run, it would have paid off.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what bit everyone is just not quite enough time on the not enough green flag time on the tires to really make the differences in pit strategy pay off. But overall, you still made it work. Still came home second. Solid points day, and just congratulations on that. It was really fun to watch.
All right, yeah, thank you.
All right. That was second place finisher Devin Maines. We're going to go ahead and drag Aaron in here. Wait. There we go. Third place finisher Aaron Mack. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you tonight?
I'm doing quite well after getting to witness an exciting finish like that. Especially that prior restart, man. That was special to watch. You slice and dice your way through and just cut up the top 5 and got yourself to second in pretty impressive fashion. Did that come as a surprise, or did you have just that much better tire advantage on those guys? What happened? Take us through that second to last restart.
To be honest with you, it was actually kind of surprising. Because I did get caught up in a couple wrecks there, where it was roughly about 3 minutes of damage that I kept on trying to come in and out, but I was able to get it all repaired, and probably had some of the fresher tires of the rest of the field.
Yeah, you did. That last restart, a little bit was a little bit of a disadvantage on the inside. You think we saw a little bit of a. Obviously, it's going to be hard to read when he's going to start, so you're at an inherent disadvantage. But was that inside even more of a disadvantage for you, or do you think you could have got it done and made a pass on the inside had time to restart a little bit better?
I know I kind of mistimed the restart a little bit. Um, but with the equipment that I've got, I was able to kind of see Kyle to the outside. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you up front, beginning of the race. You figured you'd be a contender, and got worried for a little while, but you got mired back around 10th or so, and just had that rash of cautions that kept you there for a while. But it was really fun watching you cut up through the field and ended up in the top 3. So overall, a great night, and really cool recovery drive to be able to watch and be able to see you guys get some good finishes for U.S. Army Esports.
yeah, like I said, heck, at one point I actually purposely went down a lap to finish the damage. And so, yeah, it was a tremendous drive back through the field. And yeah, I know Devin and myself, we both represent the U.S. Army Esports as well. Um, but a, a huge team event, with Kyle being on the Lemon Lawyers as well. It was a 1-2-3.
Absolutely dominating fashion for you guys tonight, and a treat to watch for the viewers. So, of course, thanks to, as always, to you viewers out there watching. Enjoy having you around to watch these guys, and I'm sure they enjoy having you as well. We know there's a lot of family and friends out there. Anyone you'd like to shout out tonight before we hang it up?
Well, by far, you, Adam, because if we didn't have the broadcast, nobody would be able to see it.
Much appreciated. I very much enjoy doing this. It's one of the highlights of my week, coming and spectating you guys and kind of getting the breakdown from everyone afterwards. It's fun to see how everyone's races went, and just everyone's different mindsets, and it's just a great group of guys here, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Well, like I said, a huge thanks to you and Zach for putting this on too. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Can't thank Zach enough for doing this. For those of you who don't know or haven't heard me mention several times, he's our league coordinator and has been setting up all these events throughout the hiccups of the first season. It's still been a great time, and we'll hopefully come back even stronger next season. But we got a few races left before we decide that. How you feeling about next week?
I haven't even looked at next week yet. But it should be fairly well. Charlotte.
Charlotte, yes, sir.
But Charlotte's always been a good track. Got to take care of those tires. That's what it'll come down to too.
Take care of the tires, mind the bumps, keep yourself out of trouble. The exits and corners get real narrow at times, so I expect we'll see a few cautions there. Hopefully not quite as many as tonight, but overall it should be entertaining.
It should be.
So thanks again. Thanks for taking the time to come out and race with us for one, and taking time for an interview afterwards. So shout out to you for solid drive tonight. Great recovery from a lap down at one point, and we'll hopefully see you continue that success next week.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. And the man of the evening, Kyle Nadeau, breaking through with the first win of the season. Take us through that last restart. Were you a little bit nervous? And how'd that... Did you have a plan, or were you just winging it?
Well, I had Aaron on my inside, and we were teammates, and then we remembered as we're doing burnouts that Devin is a part of our team too. So we're like, oh, well, pays to pay attention, I guess. But yeah, Aaron and I, we early on, actually in the beginning of the race, he had asked if we wanted to do teammates, where I take off, he kind of hangs back, and I get up in front of him, and then we run like that. So we did that, and then at the last restart, he asked if I wanted to count it down, and we did. Tried to time it. Devin timed it really good. We all took off. Still worked out for Lemon Lawyers though. 1, 2, 3. So we'll take that on to Richmond. I think we go to Richmond.
Charlotte next week, actually.
Oh, Charlotte. Ooh, Charlotte. Okay, I like Charlotte.
All right.
All right.
I like the excitement. We'll see if we can do back to
Yeah.
back.
Hey, let's hope so, man. I've done so many second place finishes. Let's get some back-to-back wins going.
For sure. Hey, you got some competition though, man. We got a lot of drivers who stepped up their game who we haven't seen up front consistently. They were showing out tonight.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Short tracks are just like restricted plate tracks. You got if you're there at the end, you have a shot to win it. Like anything can happen. These, one slip up and it's a big wreck. You dodge it, boom, you're running second, third, hell, maybe even first.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you really have any saw you were one of the first ones to pit for tires. Do you have any problems getting back up through the field? I know there was a lot of wrecks back there and we couldn't keep an eye on everything. Did you have any issues getting back up through the field, or was it pretty methodical, just picking them off, here and there on those restarts?
Just kind of waiting for them to wreck on the restarts. My restarts before I got to second place, or what was it? I think it was fourth. I started on the bottom, so the wrecks would happen. They'd go up the track. I'd jump two spots, and then I got to fourth. We took off, got to second. Um, what was his name? 88. Jake. He
Yeah.
took off, and I just kind of used my tires on the bottom there. They're good for about 2 to 5 laps, and I got ahead of them and just never looked back. Just kind of defended on the restarts there.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, 2 to 5 laps. I kind of had to wonder how short that window was. That's even shorter than I had surmised that it might be. Only 2 to 5 laps to make that move, because we saw a lot of attempts. I know we saw Ed was down there trying to make some moves on the inside early. Who else was up there? Got in some trouble. Blake. Yep. Blake was down there trying to make moves on the inside. He did it pretty well. And I think he did it longer than most people were able to. I think he had a little bit of a different setup to the entry that helped him out, using that bottom lane. But yeah, so that's a pretty short window. But hey, I mean, you knew the tricks, because you were up there. You were up there guarding that top lane and taking that top lane on the restarts and getting it done. So did what you had to, and obviously had the best strategy of the day, and everything fell your way, and got that first win of the year, and further expanded that points league. So I'm pretty sure you got both the point for laps led and also most laps led. So be a couple bonus points in there for you as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I also got 2 bonus points for that. Yeah, it's just it's a game of survival here. Not making contact with people and just kind of knowing when to let somebody go and when to push. So yeah, that's, hey, to quote a short track legend that just ran his drop back the 8 car. It's Bristol, baby.
It is indeed, and what a show it was. I thank you, just like everyone else, for showing up and showing out here on these races. It's a pleasure for us to watch and commentate on. I'm sure everyone back home that's probably watching you this week will be pleased to see the result. So I'll give you the floor for a minute. Go ahead and shout them out if you'd like, and we'll get it wrapped up.
I just want to say thank you to my girlfriend, and I'm sorry at the end of the race I got excited and I woke her up by screaming finally. I love you so much, and you're really cute with Gary. I want to say hi to my parents. Finally got the El Camino into victory lane. About damn time. And I want to say thank you to you, Adam, for broadcasting, and everybody in the league for running a fairly clean race. I know Bristol's just eye pacing, but mostly single car spins, so that's a good thing. All the fans for watching, and yeah, let's back up and go to Charlotte.
Absolutely. Congrats again on the first win. Well, hopefully you seem pretty excited about Charlotte, so we'll expect you to continue that success next week, and hopefully get your final teammate in the up in the mix as well. I had a little bit of bad luck there for Crank early on. Got absolutely clobbered. So hopefully he'll be able to pull it off. But congrats again, and to the whole Lemon Lawyers squad, and we'll see you next week at Charlotte.
All right, see you there.
All right, that was your winner, Kyle Nadeau, putting on an absolute clinic tonight. Untouchable in the last few laps of the race, despite the best efforts of everyone in the field. No surprise whatsoever. Kyle's had great pace throughout the entire season, so that's definitely to be expected. But finally able to break through and finish on top here in Thunder Valley. So congrats on that. And thank you to everyone for watching. So glad to have you, friends and family of the drivers. Greatly appreciate you being around here. If you like what you see, would like to follow more broadcasts, we'll get a few more new people in here this week. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the channel and hit that bell for notifications if you'd like to know when we go live on Thursday nights. And as we said, next Thursday night, going to be same place, same time, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We're going to be going to the home of NASCAR, Charlotte, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, for next week's event. And we're going to see if Kyle can go back-to-back next week. Going to have some stiff competition among his teammates and others. And we'll hopefully see you back here next Thursday night. Of course, thank you, as always, to Zach Miller, and, of course, his 614 Designs sponsor for our league. Go ahead and find him on Instagram at 6.1.4_designs, or Zach D. Miller. If you are on iRacing, go ahead and check out his paints right there on tradingpaints.com. If you need a paint done, go ahead and hit him up, and he can get you set up with something looking really good. So that's going to do it for us this week here from Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. Really exciting night, full of carnage and mayhem, but there was one man who was above it all, untouchable throughout the second half of the race. That's Kyle Nadeau getting it done. The Canadian bringing it home on the podium. Top of the heap among the teammates. Gave him a tough fight at the very end, but was able to prevail. So happy for them, happy for that whole team in general. And we'll see you right back here next week. That's going to do it for me tonight. I've been Adam LaVox here with Faster Horses Media, and goodbye.